This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories. And welcome to my review of the Star Wars Holiday Special. First off, happy Life Day, and just remember 47 years ago, something so horrific came out that George Lucas wanted this to be buried for all eternity and never be seen again. And despite all he's done to bury this and make sure it never sees the light of day again, he sadly has failed, and this horrific masterpiece still exists. Very easy to find, with it fully being uploaded on YouTube, and no one actually acknowledges that it's on there because they have to acknowledge that this exists. So you're totally able to watch this completely for free on YouTube. So if you haven't seen this yet, I highly recommend seeing it because every Star Wars fan should see this at least once, and it's definitely something interesting. It was, I mean, it's just honestly, it's just insane that this even happened. And yeah, I mean, really, the only thing that's worth watching from it is the Boba Fett special, which has been uploaded onto Disney Plus. But besides that, I mean, it is absolutely insane, and basically everyone that was involved in this absolutely hates it. I mean, George Lucas has said he wants this thing to be buried and then never wants it to see the light of day again. And Harrison Ford also really hated it. I think that I heard too much about Mark Hamill's thoughts on it. I do know that yeah, while Carrie Fisher doesn't love it, she did at least manage to get a copy and watch it with people, and definitely was a pretty interesting experience for her to see this because, man, I mean, this is just insane. The main story of it is Chewbacca's family, which are characters you really don't see used too often, although they do exist both in both continuities of the EU and canon and Disney canon. And most major appearance I could think of them is at Chewbacca's funeral in Legacy of the Force. And I mean, they completely ignore the fact that he does have a family in the current canon with the entire stupid thing about Maz being in love with Chewbacca. But, I mean, just going to this, absolutely insane. It is just a bunch of random different special like moments in it with a bunch of guest stars. There's thing where Chewbacca's dad watches, let's just say, like what's probably intended to be like an adult video. There's a cooking show. Very weird segue from that, but so there's that. There is the entire circus thing, which is the only other thing from this to actually make it into something else, where the entire circus performance was recreated for Skeleton Crew last year, and I mean that's also kind of crazy that was done because of just how hated this special was. And I mean, just going through it, oh god, I mean, this is not good. You can't enjoy it ironically, and it's at least more enjoyable than watching a few of the things Disney's done. Specifically, I had a far more fun watching this than The Acolyte, and just due to the fact that it isn't a complete character assassination, it is automatically better than both The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. But that's pretty much it. The probably also Resistance, but I actually haven't watched Resistance, so can't actually judge that. But man, it is just absolutely insane. I keep saying that, but I just have so much fun watching this just to see what were they thinking when they made this. Really, besides that Boba Fett cartoon, which is pretty cool, although it doesn't really make sense since with what's later established, and that's the fact that Boba Fett is one of the most famous bounty hunters and someone that Han would have had experience with before. Same with Chewbacca, and well, the fact that both of them also were alive during the time of Jango Fett, although Han would have been like 5 or 6, I think, and no, he was about 7. I think he's 10 years older than Leia, so he'd be 7 when during the events of Attack of the Clones. So yeah, maybe he didn't hear much about it, but Chewbacca almost certainly would have heard of Jango Fett. But yeah, honestly, I mean, just going through it, honestly, absolutely insane. And honestly, the Fett thing couldn't make sense with Chewbacca, although there is the special edition thing where Han sees Boba Fett, which makes that cartoon impossible. And he does have different armor on in this, but he keeps the exact same name. So it was obviously just one of those things where the armor changed in development. And and yeah, honestly, I mean, I really have no idea what was in their minds and why they thought this was a good idea. But it's just honestly completely insane that it was made, and you'd have a very enjoyable time watching it just to see what were they thinking, how could they do this, and why did they have this entire thing with Carrie Fisher singing at the end. But yeah, I mean, such a fun thing to watch in an ironic way, and it's just great in that way. Is this the best thing ever? No. Can I see why George Lucas wanted to kill this, bury it with the shovel, and make sure it was never seen again? Yes, I can totally see that, and see why he is completely horrified that this somehow got created and aired. And I don't know why he even thought it was going to do that. Or maybe it was one of those things that he made a deal with the studio so he could go and keep the merchandise rights. And if that is correct, I mean, again, that's a complete guess off the top of my head. So there's nothing supporting that. But if he did, I mean, he still made the right decision because he made way more off of the merchandising rights than he did in humiliation for this absolute abomination being made. But I'm at least I'm able to talk fondly of it and just how insanely bad but fun it is. Unlike those other things, which are again giant slaps to the face. But I'll probably save that for a full ranking of basically all the Star Wars shows after I go and watch shows and movies. After I actually do watch Resistance, and I think a few of those like ones with shorts like Forces of Destiny. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna do Young Jedi Adventures though, since that's a preschool show. I even I have my limits. So yeah, honestly, just yeah, honestly, I had a great time watching this. It's the second time I've watched it, and I mean, I just really can't believe that's just how insane this is. So just please let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.